You swear that the testimony you are about to give this committee is the truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God.
I do.
Please take a seat. Senator Eves, it's your time.
Gregory Hirsch, executive assistant to Tom Wamsgans, correct?
Yes. Yes, if it is to be said.
I'm sorry.
If it is to be said, so it is.
Are you all right?
Yes. I merely wish to answer in the affirmative fashion.
You can speak to us normally.
Okay. No, thank you, sir. So I shall.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Never listen.
That might be coming.
Gonna listen. I wanna listen to the drums.
Yeah, obviously did that for you.
Yeah.
Um,
I only wish to answer in the affirmative, as it were.
yeah. We might have to testify.
Yeah. Which is weird because you think of me as like at some point in my 20s or late teens being like a vagrant criminal.
Uh-huh.
But I've never done anything like this. So
You've never testified?
No.
Okay, I have a question about dress code.
Yeah.
If we had to do that.
Okay.
Because this is some business trip follow-up. Recently we talked about my part pleasure but part business trip that I took to Alabama. Check out a studio of a YouTube streamer, or whatever you call it, right? No media guy company. Yeah. I wore my business pants that day, which, as you know, are my blue jeans.
Yeah. Those the ones Emily Jones bought for you?
No, that was many, many years ago. She did help me out, though. Because who better for fashion advice than Emily Jones? Yeah, could I wear those? Are those, or do we got to go suit? Because I'm not even sure. I lost a bunch of weight during the pandemic. You haven't noticed that. You haven't acknowledged that. And I don't know that I have a suit. I think we did the SMU forum once, and I just kind of wore some old pants that were kind of big.
Yeah, well, I mean, when that happened, I told you there's a place not too far. It's actually like halfway in between my house and your house, where for like $100, maybe $50, they'll take
your house?
No, it's a tailor.
Oh, they'll take my other stuff.
They'll take anything you have and they'll make it fit right. And it's a super simple process. I
like
did it.
Simple things.
Yeah, I put all my.
I changed my camera angle.
Appreciate
Doesn't
that.
look that good though.
You don't have the light that I have.
No. I also didn't get a new haircut today like you did. Just you thought you might testify and you wanted to look good on this video.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their thing, right?
You paid extra hair.
I did.
To get Victoria to come in on her day off.
She was actually very sweet about it and said that she needed distraction from other things she had going on. So
tell me about it.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. So I put both of my, or two of my suits anyways, like in the bag today to go to dry cleaning tomorrow. So we're going to get cleaned up.
Just one more thing to think about. What to wear.
A lot of stuff to think about.
I can't just wear my jeans and black shirt. I mean, that's the kind of hip, new small business owner that I am.
And your black hat.
I could wear the all black hat.
At least
like Kendall Roy.
At least at one point, I'm going to say, well, it's been that way for millions of years.
What is that? Oh, that's
the video where he got, jammed up about his question about when you're a star.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're noting on my business trip.
Yeah.
And this also goes to this is going to throw a wrench into our court proceeding, perhaps, but I've for a while had on the books a trip I'm taking daughter number 2 to college in New York, in Ithaca, New York. On Monday, we have a flight, and wife is working. I am, but it's not a set sked. So I'm the one who's going to take her, travel with her. And last time I visited her, stayed for a few days, got an Airbnb, and was quite turned off by the whole process because I had scheduled an Airbnb earlier in the year, but then had to bail out. And once I rescheduled during the last week of school, the price had gone up significantly because they knew it's, whatever. The algorithm tells them lots of people are going to want this. So that was one thing. And then I was all turned off because I'm just one guy and I'm pretty clean guy, as you know. I clean up after myself. I don't really make too much of a mess. And then their rules, all these rules where I got to take out the recycling and then take out the trash and then the bedding, empty that and put it into and then the cleaning fee was $250.
Jesus, Pete.
And I'm like, the cleaning fee is more I pay to clean our house if I get the cleaning lady to come over and do, when kids and everybody are messing up the whole house and they got to do all the floor. You just had to barely clean up after me. You don't have to vacuum anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't move. I basically slept and used the kitchen and the shower, of course. That's long.
I don't know that, of course.
Well, I like to shower on the road because my home shower has got very weak water pressure. As you know, we live at the end of the water line. You may know that. I don't know. We live at the end of the gas line, so during the freeze, we just had a trickle of gas coming in, and we live at the end of 3 cul-de-sacs. So anyway, my point is now I opted for a hotel. It's everything's gone.
Yeah.
The other way now. It's like it used to be, man, Airbnbs are so cool because the hotels, it sucks and you can't do this and that and you get this whole house. And now it's like, man, that's going to be way too expensive. Now a hotel, that's $150 a night. Okay. And
they clean everything
right away. They don't tell you to clean anything up. You don't you're not obligated. Probably have a nice little a muffin in the morning, and the coffee is there already. It's made. Someone else makes it. The continental. Oh,
we're headed to Belgium.
Yeah, this waffle will sweep me away. So, anyway, I don't know if you've felt that as well, but I feel like this is a fundamental change in the world.
Yeah, what's weird about it is that, the two big ones that come up are Uber and Airbnb. And the thing for people like us who live here is that we couldn't switch back from Uber to taxi cabs.
Because the cabs weren't a big thing here?
No, I mean, it doesn't really exist. But there's certainly been a backlash against Airbnb. And I've talked about it. I shouldn't be able to own a second house. I should be taxed to the blinking moon for having that property. It's just an investment that we were able to do instead of having a savings account at some point. But we try to be super, super cognizant of making it too onerous for the people who stay there. We charge it might be $100 in a cleaning fee. We pay way more for that, way more than that to have it cleaned. We're super, super responsive to anything that anybody ever asks us. But I've definitely stayed at places that were not like that. And they sucked. And I fully understand the shift back to the hotel.
Plus you guys got that cool.
We got that table
in the back.
Yeah.
Buffet table.
Yeah.
You got anything else before we should we promote what we actually planned for today is some viewer mail?
Yeah.
Dirk speech, James Harden talk, news, and Cowboys. In fact, right when we were about to record here, Zack Martin has signed a new deal. So I wonder, what are the details on that?
Let me pull them back up here, but they are exactly what I predicted they would be in the article. I wrote.
What did the Cowboys come around?
They basically came around to so it's 18 million a year. He was making about 13 or 14. They added 2 more years to his deal. He'll make 18 in each of the next 2 seasons, which will make him probably like the fourth or fifth highest paid guard. Not number 1, but pretty close. And they add a couple years to it. And yeah, they lower his base salary pay, and he's in good shape.
So they get some salary cap relief early.
Yeah.
And Jerry was bluffing when saying there is no resolution. It's whenever he just comes back.
Yeah.
And they gave him enough extra money to where he can pay those fines.
Yeah,
because he was fined. And
yeah,
then
and they're
take it
no
out of
longer
that.
rescinded. Yeah. Let's see exactly where he ends up, but it's going to be top 5, which is awesome. You know, I don't talk about him enough. He's a guard. He's a right guard.
Mhm. He's
But
just the most solid right guard there is.
I think, you know, if not the most of all time, one of the most of all time. Let's see. That will put him.
Now that's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. There's no doubt.
Not even there's no doubt, and I don't even care about the Hall of Fame, as we've said many times. But dude, he's one of the best football players of all time.
The best.
One of the best folks. The only thing I was going to tell you is I used to get this question all the time from a guy that we used to work with named Blake, and he was always like, "Man, can you tell if there's any difference between a boy and a girl yet?" This is like when Carter was like 3-4 months old, and I'm like, "Man, I don't know. I mean, he's just a little kid. He's a little baby. He seems exactly the same as she did. He no longer seems that way, as I've talked about in a number of different forums here. He's destructive. He wants to break stuff. He wants to punch me. He wants to kick me. Anything, like if I'm wearing glasses in the morning, he wants to take them off and break them. He throws things. But what's happening now, and you had indicated to me that you never really dealt with this, at least to this degree. My daughter hates him. Like, she really hates him. And I hope that one day, like 10, 20 years from now, the earth is not boiling. Go back and listen to this, and it'll all be funny. But, dude, the dynamic between like an older sister and a baby boy, fascinating to watch. It's fascinating. Like, she just wants nothing to do with him. And this morning we were trying to teach him some words. Every morning we try to work on dada, mama, dog, and one of them is Nora. And she heard us tell him that, and she goes, "Why are you telling him that?" We were like, "Well, we would like him to learn your name." And she said, "Tell him name. I never want him to know my name. I never want him to know me." We were like, "That's pretty serious."
Yeah.
And it just, you know, it's
Now,
kind
is
of
it
a
all
window
boys?
into-
Does she hate boys at school? Or she hates that particular boy?
She has 1 or 2 male friends at school. I mean, most of her friends are girls. Does have a couple of I don't want to say boyfriends, but she has a couple of male friends at school. But I guess it's just because they're the same age. And I think a big part of it is just property. Like her room, her stuff. She's always like, "He's in my stuff." And
Does
it's
she have the
just-
big room?
Yeah. It's bigger than.
So she certainly would be noting that if she didn't.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
You should point that out to her. Like, hey,
Yeah, no,
you
she's
got the video.
not exactly operating on logic these days, but it's just wild. Like, the few hours before I come here every day are basically just trying to keep the two of them apart from one another.
What if you showed her the price per square foot
Yeah,
currently in Grapevine?
yeah.
Because through the roof. And then with the interest
taxes.
rates,
Interest rates, yeah.
let's see. Do you have a viewer mail theme?
I do not. No.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll find one. You know what?
I mean, we've been sent a number of themes
Here you go.
that we can use. That's for later.
Oh, that's sports?
Yeah.
How about this one? Mail, then we'll read mail.
We'll read mail.
Paul Schaefer would have it.
We'll be viewer mail.
Today it's actually viewers. We're on video.
That's right.
This is our one free video per week.
So I got a haircut. That in court.
April sent hola. Means hello. How are you? It's been a year since we got to hang out and celebrate my husband Matt's birthday with you and Jake. The pizza was outstanding, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're in Costa Rica for our anniversary getaway this week. Lots of waking up in special ways here.
Whoa.
Oh, she said especial ways here.
Mm-hmm.
Pure Vita.
Pure Vita.
Anyway, she'd like a shout out for his birthday.
Okay. Well, shout it out.
For April Hintz. Matt Hintz. You remember him?
I do.
I actually sat next to them. I met them at the my older daughter's graduation. And they had a daughter who was graduating as well. And then they just booked after their daughter. They left. And I was very jealous of that because my wife said, no, we're staying. We got to see everybody. What about her friend that the last name begins with,
I thought you meant
W?
like they booked town.
No, they just, I'm just
Okay.
saying, we
Yeah,
were in
yeah,
this
yeah,
hot
yeah.
stadium
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
just said, oh, okay, we're out. We saw our daughter. I'm like, what if we left and did what they're doing? And then
Did you
my
get a
wife,
free COVID test out of that?
no, I think they just,
Temperature.
they just gave
Okay.
you a
Dude, think
forehead
about in
temp.
hindsight, like what nonsense that was.
lot of, yes.
I had a fever for 2 days a few days ago.
Yeah.
I did not have COVID, but it was just like you would walk into a place and they're like, let me scan here.
There was a lot of
We do a
nonsense with
temporal
COVID.
scan.
We're trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
We're trying to figure
I'm
it
sure
out.
next time it'll go great.
See, I got excited because I thought you meant that as soon as their kid graduated, they just booked town,
No.
which sounds
I think they have other kids.
awesome to me.
They might have, yeah, but they have other kids that are in town still. So I don't know if we want to do birthday shout outs here, got that special one, as we kind of have a connection with them. But also, I got this. Hey, Dan, doesn't sound like you're doing birthdays, but today, okay, he says 8:15. Josh Stanley, Oklahoma D1. His leader is Dan Baker's Shoulder Chip and Jake's Lake House Picnic Table Buffet. From Matt B. Matt spelled with one T.
Oh,
Not like Matt Hintz spells it with the
not sure about that.
normal two T's.
I think there's nothing more perfect than you doing a birthday on the wrong day.
Okay. That way I don't have to worry about this tomorrow.
Okay.
If indeed we record tomorrow, who knows? We could be shut down at any time.
If it is to be said, it will be said.
Dear Uncle Hotmail. I don't know if I like that, but
I can tell you
It
don't,
is what
and that's
it
why
is.
I'm going to stop using it.
that's why you're going to stop?
Yeah.
Well, you have changed a lot.
That was
Isn't
never
when you-
my deal.
I thought that's when you start, like
No,
most people in the world.
that's when you start.
Okay. Yeah, it's whatever. Chappie for the whole show every Friday would be great. Great DGAF attitude about life that makes me laugh. Blah, blah, blah. Good luck from Adam. And we had Chappie on, our most recent epi. And yeah, that was good. He's a good dude.
He's a great dude. I would probably resist the idea that we had him on for a show a week, but that was fun.
And I got, hey, Dan, long first, blah, blah. Love the show. Prefer the podcast format. I could listen to them whenever. However, because the podcast exists outside of time, besides news and sports news, I was thinking maybe you could stop doing Today in History and birthdays. I know it's a staple. It doesn't really fit the format anymore. Feel free to ignore from Cole. And I thought, that interesting thought, but today I'm going to ignore that for sure because I have a couple of interesting today in history things that I think you'll like. And I suppose these are just interesting things whenever you're hearing this. Now, as far as birthdays, former Cowboy Julius Jones, 42, could be interesting any day, especially the thing that you will say about him.
Yeah, of course, that he was drafted first overall in your fantasy football league the year after he had like a 1,007-yard season.
I think it was the 900 yards in the last
Yeah. It projected out
12
well,
game
but
or whatever.
Just that you were in a fantasy football league full of Cowboy homers.
I still am, yeah.
The Landry Cup.
Yeah.
And that somebody decided to take him 1-1.
No, and if Zeke was in the league still,
oh my gosh,
he would be.
He could be like not on a team.
Yeah, he probably still would.
Yeah.
Another interesting one to me is John Klingberg is 31. Only because maybe that'll be a parallel for us. He made an interesting financial decision that never paid off.
Yeah,
because he wanted the big contract. They were going to give him a contract.
Yeah.
But not top of the league money. He thought he could get top of the league money, and I thought he could too. Then he went out there, got a 1-year deal, got traded during that 1-year deal. What?
Anaheim?
Yeah. They traded him to Minnesota, and then he ends up signing a 1-year deal this offseason for $2.5 million. He's going to play for Toronto with a $2 million signing bonus. So he's making $4.5 this year. But for John Klingberg, I don't know. You were thinking 8 years, 6 a year, 7 a year, something. I don't know. Just seemed weird.
The only thing I would add to that, sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah. Klinger, I used to call him.
You did always used to call him that, but I remember having a number of conversations with him on different study trips, and he was a really, really sweet dude.
Mike Mayock is 65. He is the former Raiders GM. And did you know, because I found this out this morning when looking through.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Former Giants safety. Did you know he was a player?
I guess I didn't.
Some real old people you just look at like, there's no way.
Yeah, but that's weird because I knew he was never like in management before the Raiders situation. But yeah, I guess
I thought he was like a writer.
Yeah. Just a TV.
Kind of a Keith Law type that found his way into a front office.
He got called a slur by Antonio Brown.
Slur. The gay, the F slur? Or?
Cracker.
Oh, that's...
I think we can say that, right?
I can say anything.
Do you remember that story, though?
Not really.
It was around the time that Antonio Brown was freezing his feet and coming to practice with a shoddily painted helmet. And he called Mike Mayock a cracker.
That's he didn't want to wear the new helmet, so he just
painted the old one like terribly.
Yeah.
Like kid paint.
Kent Lofton Jr. is 21, and the big thing about him is that he's not the son of Indians, Rangers, center fielder Kenny Lofton.
Incredible.
Incredible. Weird?
Like what if one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL was named Troy Aikman Jr.?
Right.
And you're like,
no, it's
certainly.
Not him. It's not him.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton's pretty famous, pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And he was a very good basketball player, not only on Papa Shot.
I wonder if he plays hoop anymore.
He was also on I think a
Final Four team.
I was going to say championship winning, but maybe Final Four. I don't know. I think he was Arizona. No one really knows. Okay, then 2 notes from this day in history, and we'll move on.
Okay.
We'll do Dirk. One is 1995, Shannon Faulkner officially became the first female cadet in the history of the Citadel. That is South Carolina's State Military College. So that's a yay.
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is headed.
Says here, however, she quit the school less than a week later, citing the stress of her court fight, which maybe in the past I would have been like, stress of a court fight. Now I'm like, oh my God, dude,
Court sucks.
I need to lay down for,
Yeah.
Can you let me lay down for a half hour? I don't know why I was just sweating and shaking, but I don't know what I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure I'm going to be fine. And her isolation among male cadets. So kind of a then she just quit.
I've always thought that was a really tough scene. The idea that like we want to integrate the military based on like, you know, gender, but I just thought you could put them all together. But like then what are you going to do? You're going to have like a female unit?
Images.
Okay. He's determining how interested he is in this story. But does that make sense though?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a difficult thing to try to.
I mean, should any cops be?
Well, the
Is it
difference
just that they have different strength?
No, not so much that it's to live there. You know, like
Yeah,
cops
the
don't have to
barracks.
live there. Cops go in for 10 hours and they go home.
We call it the barracks, right?
That's right. Yeah.
The mess hall.
Just he's simply throwing out the 2 to 3 military terms he's aware of, folks. But that's okay. What was your other one?
This is the final one, 1964.
Okay. This should be progressive.
Bo Linsky. You ever heard of that name? I had never heard of that name.
I don't think so.
Suspended by the Angels after attacking sports writer Braven Dyer. 4 days later, he was assigned to the minor leagues, then suspended for the season. He refused to report. Bo Belinsky. So I just thought, that's interesting. A guy attacked a sports writer, and I've never heard of this. Let me read about Bo Belinsky. He's not alive, number one. He died in 2001.
Blessed up.
He became a local celebrity as a rookie with the Angels. He won his first 4 starts, and his 4th start was a no-hitter. And here he is in the L.A. Area. And he was a huge celebrity at the time. All of a sudden, he becomes huge. He's big time. He was known as a bit of a party boy. Like he became, I guess he's a cautionary tale. Let's see. Notorious as a minor leaguer for his nightlife.
Nightlife.
Let's see here. Throwing that no-hitter would immortalize his name and perhaps mark the beginning of his long downfall. He was actually, after his rookie season, 4th in the league in strikeouts per 9. But he also led the league in walks.
A real Vaughn situation on our hands here.
Yeah. But the next year he went 1-7, was sent to the minors. And then the next year he was 9-7, with a career best 2.86 ERA when the incident occurred. This is 1964 then. So let's read about, and by the way, he ended up like dating starlets and things like that, if you want to call them that.
We don't have any starlets anymore.
Let me look at the New York Times story from back then. Belinsky, the controversial LA Angel pitcher, knocked out a 64-year-old sports writer.
Ooh, kind of a Don Zimmer type over here.
In an early morning dispute over a story that Belinsky planned to quit baseball. So Dyer, the 64-year-old, was the beat writer, said he questioned Belinsky in the lobby about an Associated Press story that he planned to quit baseball. Belinsky frequently said in other interviews he plans to quit baseball for something that pays more money. So they were very low paid back then. He's hanging out with Hollywood people, and he's like, you know, I do get free stuff because people like me, but I don't have any money to pay for anything. So he told the sports writer he was misquoted in that story. So Dyer went to his room, telephoned to the newspaper. He says, I'd already undressed and gone to bed when Belinsky calls me. He said he read the AP story and that he's not quoted. I said it was too late to call my paper. Belinsky starts complaining about mistreatment by newspapers and ended the call by saying, you come down here and I'll stick your effing head under the shower. So apparently that was some fighting words back in 1954.
Can't say that I've heard that.
Dyer is 64, but he was once a star college football player. And he said, player can't let a player get away with a threat like that. So I dressed and went down to his room. When he got there, according to Dyer, I knocked on the door. We started talking, and that's all I remember.
Oh, got cold cocked.
He ended up having a great deal of swelling under his left ear. 6 stitches were required. His right eye was blackened. Belinsky had once had a highly publicized engagement with Mamie Van Doren,
who I only know about
from like The
from
Simpsons.
Why Today Doesn't Suck.
I don't know who that is, but I'll bet you she's a hubba hubba.
Yeah.
But that was broken off. So that's the story of Bo Belinsky, and that's how his major league career ended with, him punching out a 64-year-old sports writer because he was upset about what he felt was a misquote.
Much like with Troy Aikman Jr., I would just like to attempt to contextualize this by saying it would be like if Evan Grant got beat up by like Martin Perez. If you just think about the sort of news that would make now.
They always say
Evan Grant's not 64, I don't think, and I also don't think he's an aggressive personality.
They always say back in those days that sports writers and athletes they would
go drink together.
They were contemporaries. Yeah. They were peers.
They probably made the same.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if one challenged one to a fight, they had to. But now the power dynamic is way different. All right, it's time to switch into some Dirk talk. I don't have a lot of music.
I like this one, actually.
Transition.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't listen to this. What do you want to do? What is your... I have the audio ready to play, but you told me this morning you really wanted to play Talk Dirk.
I feel like...
Hall of Fame. He's... officially inducted into the Hall of Fame yesterday.
And I don't know. I mean, we can just play a little bit of it and skip around. I know it's like 16 minutes long, but I don't know, man. I think he's
I'll
just
play the whole thing.
He's such a one of one. Like there just haven't been many, if any, people like him ever. And I don't think it's possible for it to ever happen again. People always want to compare Luka to Dirk, and well, Luka, see the way that Dirk operated and follow his lead. I mean, dude, Luka moved to Madrid when he was like 15 years old and was driving a very expensive car. Dirk grew up in the countryside of Germany and was one of the first, European players to come over here and have to find his way on his own. I just think his level of gratitude, and it really truly is like the proper use of the word humble. I'm burping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got super emotional, as I think a lot of people did, listening to his Hall of Fame speech. So you could play a little bit of it, a lot of it, or none of it. We could just talk Dirk.
It's here.
For the last few months, 2 words have been running through my head. Thank you. Thank you to Jerry Colangelo, the Hall of Fame, for allowing me to live with this feeling of gratitude for months now. Being in the Hall of Fame means everything to me, so I really appreciate it. Thanks to the NBA and Adam Silver, the greatest sports league in the world. My career has been a long journey. All this became possible because I learned some qualities and some values that were taught to me by some very special people that were excellent teachers. And I would like to share my journey towards these qualities today. starting with this quality, and that's creativity. And the guy that comes to mind is my guy, Don Nelson, Nelly. Fortunately, he's not here tonight, but he always saw the game different. And when I came in the league, there were not a lot of coaches that wanted a footer to shoot three. So my skill set kind of fit perfect into his system. And
That's kind of a nature nurture thing I've always wondered about. Like if Dirk came in with a different, maybe a hard ass coach, maybe Carlisle even, would he have become Dirk?
Well, I mean, he's told you this before, but like he was going to go to like Kentucky, and they were going to put him back to the basket.
Yeah.
And that was,
But you're a big man.
yeah, I think it's way more nurture than nature, you know?
I've told you, I mean, we've talked on this forum, I think, like when Bob and Dan started, you know, we're in the ticket biosphere in the middle of great shows with Bruce Gilbert as our guy. Just kind of, he was very Nelly-like, you know, do your thing, do it. You don't have to listen to me. You know, I'll give you some suggestions, but just do what you think is right, because it's your job in the end. But what if we worked for Fox Sports 1190? We got hired there, and we were going up against the ticket. And you know, I
know what you're saying.
Someone that micromanaging you or something, you know, because there are micromanaging coaches that would, you know, what if he was drafted by, who was the other team looking at him? Well, no, that was it. I'm thinking of Giannis had a team after him. Nobody really was on Dirk, right?
Not until the Nike Summit, but then they were still able to, like, you know, hide their interest in him a little bit. My thought on nature and nurture, and I'm not a scientist, Dan, is always that like there's an interplay between the two. And it's impossible to tease out which one has more to do with the other, because I mean Holger had already taught him how to shoot.
Troy Aikman, if he's drafted by the Browns.
Right. Baker, if he's drafted by, Johnny, if he's drafted by the Cowboys. But no, I think it's just a perfect meeting of the minds between a guy who had been created in a lab to be a tall shooter and a coach who's like, I'd like to have a tall shooter.
And, you know, bring Holger along.
Yeah. He can move over with you.
I love what you're doing here.
Yeah.
This is like, it was a Don Nelson dream to have.
It's so cool.
I can't thank him enough. And he was also very creative off the floor. And the stuff that he came up with in speeches, it's almost like pop. They're not kid friendly, so I'm not going to say. But it always came down to me having zero talent on defense, and he always let me know that. And he was just an incredible basketball mind. One play that always comes to mind. He always came in the morning to shoot around. He was super proud to share what's the first play going to be. And one time he told me, okay, Steve dribbled the ball over Dirk, you pop. Bradley, you duck in, and Dirk, you just throw the ball off the glass, and Bradley would catch it and lay it in. Sure enough, that ball went out of bounds, and we started the game going the other way. But anyways, thanks, Nelly, you're the man. Creativity is worth nothing without leadership. And the guy that comes to my mind is my friend Steve.
Nash up on stage with him?
Yeah. Nash and Kid.
I think we came a long way from those two brutal haircuts we saw there. You had the frosted tips you had. But you know, who would have thought when we first started to play together, we'll be on the stage together. That means the world to me, and you were a great role model to me, and the best teammate I ever had. So you're always positive. You always encouraged me. We worked our butts off at night, went back to the gym. So and you became a friend for life. So thank you, my friend.
Have you thought about if Nash got re-signed?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it a lot. He probably doesn't win MVPs. He probably doesn't become the engine behind 7 seconds or less. I think it just is one of those deals. We've been saying this a lot. I think it's just one of those deals where it worked out well for everyone. I mean, Dirk got a ring.
Yeah.
You know,
Nash never did, but
he won 2 conference championships. Nash made a ton of money. He got to play the style of basketball that I think you needed a Steve Nash to create with D'Antoni.
that's a retrospect thing too. That
Yeah, of course.
Steve Nash should not have won those MVPs.
I mean, no.
If you look back at it, and if you look at the history
it's
of
the Kobe thing.
what
Both of those are Kobe's MVPs.
Kobe get it because he played with Shaq,
Yeah, and he'd already won one fairly recently, maybe.
and there's the new toy.
Yeah.
Oh, look how exciting this
Yeah.
team is.
Yeah, but that's not to take away from Nash's greatness, but
No, but
those are Kobe's MVPs.
take a look at Leave is definitely the lowest ranked multiple MVP winner. Look at guys who have won multiple NBA MVPs, and you're looking at Kareem and LeBron and Jordan and and then like Nash. You're like, okay, no, yeah.
Next up for me was had to learn my competitiveness, and who better but my guy, Jay Kidd. Always remember when you came to us, you were, already a little older, but man, you were a warrior. I remember you picking up guys at age 37, 38. You got picking up guys full court, 94 feet, hustling for us, making plays on both ends, and you were just a wonderful, wonderful all-around player, and we won the championship together. We have a bond for life. Thank you so much.
Let's jump ahead for applause.
I would have loved to play together with those two guys in their primes, but unfortunately, I had to deal with what they gave me. But
He's a funny guy.
next up, we had creativity, leadership, and competitiveness. There's one quality that really holds a team together, and that's respect. That embodies the entire class for me of 23. I'm so excited to be a part of this class. Pau, Tony, D. Wade. I didn't always like you guys. We competed at the highest level, but there was always an appreciation of guys' greatness. So thank you guys. And there's one guy in this class we have the utmost respect for, and that's Coach Pop.
You can skip to like the last minute if you want.
I hate that Dwayne Wade is part of this.
Yeah, it was weird too because like they showed everyone they mentioned and they're all like jovially laughing, and D Wade just has like this mean mug on, and it's like, okay, dude, okay.
Yeah.
But you always had like a much lower opinion of him than I did.
Dwayne Wade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's okay.
You obviously sacrificed so much and put
He's talking about his parents
so,
here.
so Silk and I can chase our athletic dreams. And to make sure you really understand what I'm saying here, the next two sentences are actually on my accent. They're German. So, was ihr für mich gemacht habt, werde ich nie vergessen für den Rest meines Lebens. Wenn ich auch nur ein halb so guter Vater werde,
It's
wie ihr
like
das
the
Eltern
Always
für mich
Sunny
wart,
backwards,
dann
the
bin
end.
ich glücklich. Danke.
And both of his parents, like, dude, I don't know. They just look so proud and they look so happy, and they're both like on the verge of tears. And I haven't seen his parents too much, I think they've
I've
maybe been
seen Holger.
maybe his mom's been maybe a little bit sick or something. So and it also like it's a lot of travel. But I want you to hear like the last minute of this.
All these qualities are important,
You got
but
2
the
minutes.
one really come in play is passion. And I thought I had plenty already in my career until I met you, Jess. Your passion for our family is
now he's bored.
Oh, yeah, we get it. Yeah.
You love your wife.
We all
as you
love our
see
wife.
so many qualities.
But if you don't mention them, then they're going to,
Yeah, of course.
that could lead to a divorce.
Well,
So you got
probably
to
not
say,
quite that
even
far,
though,
but-
I mean, I met you 18 years into the 20-year career. So you had something.
21.
I don't know what you had to do with. Really, I was Dirk before I
Yeah.
had a whole Hall of Fame career. Like if I had met you and never played again after it. Did he say that? That's what I'm
I did
imagining
not
he
say
said.
that, but you're not wrong.
Are extremely helpful, but there's one more that adds a little spice, and that's curiosity. And I got the best three teachers here tonight. Those are our kids. Malika, I'm here. Malika.
Are they looking at their phone?
They want no part of it.
Malika, Max, and Morris. Please keep this forever. Stay curious and hungry. Find your passion and work hard. I think I shared with you some of the stories tonight that I learned from role models, and I wish the same for you. Find your role models that inspire you along the way. It's always important in life to always have the drive to improve, to never be satisfied. Always see yourself as someone who wants to learn and not see yourself as someone who knows everybody. I've had so many great lessons taught to me by incredible teachers, and you will find them too. So remember, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. Thank you so much.
Okay, I saw that that phrase put out on Twitter, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know he said it. They weren't quoting. They weren't saying that was by Dirk. It was just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it comes from somewhere else, but I don't know. I think it's a very cool thing to hear a guy who's accomplished that much say, I can always get better in every aspect of except for defense.
The Dirk thing is weird just because no one has a hot sports opinion about Dirk.
Well, they used to.
Everyone's opinion is exactly the same. If you've dealt with Dirk at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're talking from a personal standpoint, then yeah, for sure.
He's the greatest dude to everybody. Like, and somehow he could have $20 million a year, but still be viewed as he took less for the team.
Yeah.
Because he did.
Yeah.
And then he kind of, the staying with one team thing, the loyalty is a huge, huge deal. But also it's different than Kobe. And no one wants to talk about Kobe anymore because Kobe died and
raped that girl.
Kind of means he did no wrong. He possibly did that you're saying. And he, his final years were, I'm going to take a huge money grab here. I want the max for the last 3 years of my career. And, you can't put a good team around me.
Yeah, and also make every single game entirely about me.
Yeah.
I want to score, 50. I don't know.
Whereas Dirk, I mean, he said he would not have been this loyal had they not won the title.
Yeah.
He would have asked for a trade. He would have gone ring chasing because that does drive you, I guess, after a while, especially if you've been, every year they were really good.
Yeah.
So they were close and they got close and they got to the finals and they were the 1 seed and all that, No, it's an incredible story. You wonder if it's the right, that's the way the story should be. Where Emmitt Smith comes into the league and he's in the Super Bowl within a few years. Like Dirk's getting to the finals and then falling back and then MVP and 1
I mean, to me, I've always thought that Dirk's story was like biblical or like a Greek story, not a tragedy. Because I mean, ultimately,
if you write it, it doesn't seem real.
Right. It seems like the sort of thing that would be taught as a lesson.
And then,
but we witnessed the whole thing, and we knew the guy.
Even the fact that Cuban chose to not keep that team together helps Dirk's legacy.
Of course,
because
he stayed.
That's not Dirk's fault.
Yeah,
Dirk put it in their hands, and they essed the bet on that.
And at almost no point when asked about it did he say anything like what James Harden is saying now. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no point where he was like going to publicly be mad about the decisions of the people around him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a really cool thing to watch. I want my kids to watch it one day. It just made me really happy.
Let's see. We have been rolling here for. Where's my thing?
Your thing.
Oh, only about 50 minutes so far. All right, so let's take a break. Then we'll hear that James Harden thing and news and stuff. And are you against this?
I'm not against this.
All right. It is time for a break, and I'm going to play you a little Send It to Break music.
Welcome to our legitimate show of kids. Very, very, very nice. Which one of these talented entertainers, who I am not attracted to at all, will be the winner? I'm not attracted to any of them. None of them. And that's the way it is. Anyway, everybody put your hands together and clap for the kids. Clap, clap, and you wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. Go to your dressing rooms. We're going to start the show. Go on. It's okay. Just don't touch. Go to there. Go into their dressing room. Over there on that stage. I am going to my dressing room. We will be right back. I'm over here.
Yeah. All right. How's that for?
Seems like a good break.
Quick before news, would you comment on James Harden, the viral video? And let me play you the clip of James Harden speaking to a group. It looks like some kind of a basketball camp or something.
Yes.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say it again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Thank you, man.
All right, basically there.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I won't be a part of an organization he's a part of, which is Daryl Morey, the
president of basketball ops, general manager of the Sixers. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was with Houston. He was. It always seemed like they were very connected. They were very
much so. I mean,
and if he's saying I'll never play for him again, who's he going to play for? Because Daryl Morey seems to be the guy that keeps going after him, trying to build everything around him, and it's not working out well for Daryl Morey.
Yeah, so the Daryl Morey thing has always been, and it'll always go back to 27 straight missed threes when we were up in the Warriors. That was a tough scene.
He was the guy. He's one of the reasons that basketball is played like it's played now.
One of the huge reasons. Both of them. I don't know which one you were referring to there.
Daryl Morey. I mean, he was
really both of them.
Analytically.
Oh, for sure.
You know, he did the analytics, decide I'm going to trade everything to get James Harden because I think he's not being used correctly in Oklahoma City.
As a sixth man and, predicting out his per 36 or whatever it was. But
go ahead.
Are you on camera not being able to open a beverage?
It's a protein drink.
Nice.
I'll give you a protein drink.
I don't think I want it. There you go. You're good. No, the weirdest thing about this video to me is that he at like some basketball event in China, and the people in the crowd don't really know how to respond. And at some point, whenever
they're like, whatever,
they're like, okay, Daryl Morey sucks. And then when he says it a second time, like a handful of people in the crowd are like, okay, I guess that means something. It's just a weird time for the NBA, man. It just feels like every single day, or at least every 4 or 5 days, there's just like some new thing where you're like, I can't believe that this player or that player is doing this. And it feels like the teams are now starting to say, well, that's cool, but we don't have to do anything that you're telling us.
The tide is shifting a little bit. The whole
Player empowerment.
Dame seems
Yeah.
to be the first test case of, hey, we can't get the value that you are. We just can't get it.
But you can either come to work or you can not get paid. And I mean, for guys who are making $40 to $50 million a year, now part of what James Harden is saying here is that, and this gets into the minutia a little bit, but he opted into a contract a year ago so that his number would stay lower and they could sign more players, PJ Tucker, etc. And that's what happened. But he agreed to that.
Well, was there a behind or a unable of, hey, then we're going to max you out next year?
I think that's at least the way that James Harden understands
And now
it.
they're not.
Now they're not. Yeah. But you still have a huge contract.
He's still made what, $500 million in his career.
Probably not that far off from that.
So it feels like this video or the video was put out, and then with the intent of people having the thought that we're having, right? Oh my gosh, this guy, boy, he's bad mouthing the one guy that supported him throughout and traded for him and built everything around him. And but off the dirt, there is a dissenting opinion, and it comes from Kyrie. Did you see this?
I did not.
Because somebody was putting out the video saying, look, here's disgruntled James Harden again. Hey, James Harden's the bad guy here. He says, is he disgruntled or is he holding Daryl Morey accountable for his dishonesty and lack of transparency throughout the contract negotiation process this summer? Like, couldn't Daryl Morey have said, couldn't Daryl Morey have just said, first of all, he just couldn't have traded for him when it was clear he had run out of, I don't think anyone else would have traded for him the last time Daryl Morey traded for him. Because he acted up, he acted his way out of Houston. He forced himself to get traded to the Nets. And then all of a sudden, he can't even work out there. What team would have been going nuts to get Daryl Morey or to get James Harden at that point?
Yeah, I mean, the list is pretty short. The list is pretty short.
And where's the list now?
I mean, I think that's kind of the point that I'm making is that I think for a lot of these guys, the list is pretty short. I mean, we kind of ended up in this situation with Kyrie.
Money-wise, they just fit.
Yeah, and I mean,
the teams that these guys would want to go to can't
make it work. Yeah.
I mean, Kyrie wanted to go to the Lakers. I don't want to.
That's why the Phoenix thing with Durant is so incredible that they were able to pull that off.
That's a new owner syndrome.
Yeah.
Because the owner wasn't going to do that.
No. It's new owner syndrome, but also it takes some magic on a cap front. But yeah, I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see a little bit of, it's not necessarily backlash to player empowerment. It's just that, dude, I mean, the league has rules. Like, we have to follow some of them.
And that's, and I'm all for player empowerment. I was all for LeBron going to Miami. LeBron played out his contract. He became a free agent.
You were not for KD going to Golden State, but I think you've come around on that a little bit.
No, but
that was more of a competitive thing than a player empowerment thing.
In the end, yes, I begrudgingly accept it. Like, okay, well, I mean, that seems kind of weak, but that's
what you wanted to do.
They had an opening. The salary cap changed. It was real weird because they had just, they were up 3-1 on him, but he doesn't want to stay with Oklahoma City. I can see that. And I'm sure if he had decided to go join LeBron in Cleveland, I would have been more on board with that.
Right, yeah.
But he chose to, go to a team. Yeah. Yes, I've come around on that. But like Durant wanting to force his way to Phoenix was terrible to me. Because he just signed a 4-year deal. Okay, same with Kyrie. If you sign a contract, that contract out. Like, play your balls off last year with the Nets. And I mean, he wouldn't be a Mav right now, but they were playing really well.
They were.
Had they, just play it out, play it to the end, win the title, don't win the title, whatever. And maybe it's the last year of a contract showing the league that, and then get your huge deal. Then get your max deal. But it's weird to get your max deal and then demand a trade.
Yeah.
That's
would
a
agree.
Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah.
He got his max. Well, he thought it was max. He actually ended up getting more.
Yeah.
Let's see on the list. I have news. You want to do that, or you want to do Cowboys?
Let's do a little bit of news, and we'll save Cowboys for tomorrow.
Whoa.
We might need to hop on here pretty soon.
Here's Jake with the Dub Zone News.
Good news, that's all they want to hear.
Man, I don't know why it's like this, and I don't know if you didn't grow up here, if you understand this. Does it not feel like Louisville Lake Louisville, in this case it's Louisville Lake Park, is always the epicenter of drownings?
Like more so than Grapevine?
Yeah, way more so.
Is there more boating?
Yeah, there's
partying?
Quote, Party Cove. But in this case, Louisville Lake Park is closing its swim beach after 2 recent drownings. And of course, a guy that we used to work with liked to bring up quite often that's where Dennis Rodman ran somebody over with his boat.
Who set that up? Grego?
Mino.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that story. Dennis Rodman story.
Well, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. He ran somebody over with his boat.
That's a guy who flooded the zone, so I can't remember that.
Yeah, and have you seen now? He goes to seemingly every huge pride rally. And it's great.
Oh, really?
He's a cool guy now, and it's like, man, oh, this guy's done some effed up stuff.
Yeah, that's the political way.
Yeah, for sure.
The game is.
So yeah, they had a drowning last Sunday, and then on Wednesday of last week, divers recovered the body of a 17-year-old who also drowned in the same area, and they just closed down the beach.
Well, I'm against that. I mean, I'm against the drowning, not the closing of the beach. They got to close the beach.
I've never really taken you to be big lake guy though.
No. Not.
Just think it's dirty, or
I can slalom water ski though.
I do recall you telling me that one of your trio of fathers taught you to slalom water ski, which is impressive. I cannot.
Yeah, we learned by dropping a ski until we dropped a ski and couldn't find it. And then, well, we better get up on the ski. But yeah, it's not that difficult. But I don't think you're as coordinated as I am.
I don't either. I think I'm.
Can you juggle?
No. My hands are not bad though.
Well, you were a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, my hands are average to above average. Make the diamond. Have you seen these videos from Maui?
Just really just covered in soot.
Dude, there are a couple of videos of people literally fleeing into the ocean to avoid fire.
That seems like a good play.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple videos where it looks like the ocean is on fire. Which, don't ask me to explain that. But yeah, I don't know. This is a story that I'm very fascinated by. Just that, there's a small town in Maui. I think there were 96 people that died, and people are literally running into the water to get away from fire, which feels, again, like the Dirk story, pretty biblical.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like something we should be dealing with.
I have seen some things on social media where people in Maui are saying, don't come here because we blah, 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 we need help or whatever. And if you had a trip to Maui planned, would you then, that's a pretty high dollar trip and everything, would you not go?
Yeah, I didn't buy the trip insurance.
What would you do? I'm not gonna
yeah,
plan
it's
one
a tough
now.
call. But if you had it planned, yeah. And the weird thing is like they don't have cell service because like their towers have all burned down. Like in this one,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not the whole island, but in this one particular part of Maui, like everything is gone.
Remember the Hawaii thing years ago?
Go on.
Wasn't it like they thought nuclear war was happening or something weird?
There's actually a phenomenal New Yorker article about that. That was like 10 years ago.
Was it that many? Hawkeye was worried about it, like his sister lives there.
Yeah, there was just like an erroneous. I don't know if you
Alert.
yeah.
The emergency service alert or whatever.
Yeah.
EAS.
Yeah, basically an EAS.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who was 2 minutes away from pressing that button.
Yeah. That's no good.
It is no good. So if you're hoping that this all ends up with us moving to Maui, you're going to have to wait a little bit.
We could do this from anywhere.
Could do this from anywhere.
But not if there's not towers.
That would be an issue. On the first day of school in Fort Worth, 20 different campuses, 22 actually, had HVAC issues, which means they used conditioners. Do you ever remember being at school and the air conditioner going out?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little bit different for you.
Still,
heat might have gone out for you.
Yeah. No, it get
balmy.
Middle 80s, which I used to think was a big deal. Did you see like we just set a record here for most consecutive days without going under 80 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Delkus said. Delkus on Twitter said, like I think every day in August, there's never been, like even overnight, in the morning, it's never gotten below 80 degrees. But I think the jokes are now because we're getting a cold front.
Oh.
Because did you see, I think it's
Dip
tomorrow.
down below triple digits.
Tomorrow it gets down to like 97, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe that's today.
It's supposed to be
Today,
today,
the high of 98.
But then the high on Thursday is expected to reach 107. So we'll be back, folks.
Oh, my.
It
says here 109.
I remember like being in high school when the AC was off, it felt like prison rules had been enacted.
Can you see this? No, it just gets bright. Never mind. It says tomorrow, 96, 0% chance of rain. Wednesday, 98, 1% chance of rain.
How do they possibly calculate that there's a 1% chance of rain?
Why don't they always put that just in case?
CYA?
Yeah. Next Wednesday, 3% chance.
Oh, good. Fingers crossed, folks. No, but yeah, that was the last thing I was going to say about that. Is just like I remember multiple times in high school, or probably more specifically junior high. Like it's 100 degrees outside, the AC goes off, and it's like, we'll take this place over because everyone is losing their minds right now.
Yeah, they should let you go home. I guess they can't though.
They got to get that state money.
What'd you do? Do they have fans?
Bring in fans, yeah. I think fan technology has actually progressed quite a bit in the last 25 years since I was in school.
I think my first year we didn't have air conditioning in the dorm.
Really?
Or maybe it was one summer I lived in a house that didn't have air conditioning too. Like when you have a fan and it's just hot, that doesn't matter.
No.
It's kind of better.
Barely.
But hot air is just
hot air
coming at you.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, that's the news.
Wait, that's the whole thing?
It was 3 stories.
How did they live in Texas before air conditioning?
Well, I mean,
is there a direct line of when they invented air conditioning to Texas
life
population?
Expectancy?
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that too.
Probably. I would have to imagine so. Yeah, because I mean, dude, we've done that. We've talked about this, and we should do something longer on this at some point. La Reunion. Like the thing that Reunion Tower and Reunion Arena was named after was a social settlement on the banks of the Trinity. And like 200 or 300 people came over here from different European countries. And they're like, this is good. And then like summer came and they're like, we're just all going to die. And they did. Mosquitoes, humidity, heat. They just died. So anyways.
Thought better of it. All right. You want me to close this out here?
Yeah, probably so.
All right.
Just thinking.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
How you feel?
Better. I feel physically better than I did when we started. I don't know if you could tell, but
I know. I like to
know if
watch your progression into.
I don't know if it's stress or I always think that makes me weak if I said it was stress.
That's okay, man.
But
it's life.
Do you think if I ended up having some kind of a physical moment that certain people would feel bad about putting me through this court situation?
No.
Or they would,
no.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Now we win.
Charge it to the game, homie. You asked for this. That's what I think would happen. But
okay, if we can't end by talking Cowboys, we'll just end with a nice Cowboys song. So we'll try this tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys, we are the Cowboys. Super coach, super team, lean hard, hungry, ugly, and mean. So get down, get down, get down, on Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy football. We're organized like we going to war. Big mean team from the big long star. Hiding dirt or a pot of gold. See you on Sunday at the Super Bowl. We are the Cowboys. Super coach, super team. Lean hard, hungry, ugly, and mean. Get down, get down, get down, y'all. Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy football. We got the Fab and Superman, outstanding talent in all of the land. Super fans, super great, best looking cheerleaders in the whole USA. We are the Cowboys. Super coach, super team, lean hard, hungry, ugly, and mean. So get down, get down, get down, y'all. Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy football. Dallas Cowboys, we are the Cowboys. Super coach, super team, lean hard, hungry, ugly team. So get down, get down, get down, y'all. Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy football. Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy.